Russian military operations and strategic movements December 1, 2024. Russian forces reportedly recently advanced in the Kurakhove direction but did not make any confirmed gains in the area on December 1st. A Russian mill blogger claimed that Russian forces advanced into central Stary Turny, northwest of Kurakhove, but ISW has not observed visual evidence of this claim. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russian forces continued unsuccessful ground attacks near Kurakhove itself, northwest of Kurakhove near Santsivka, Zoria, and Novodmitrivka, and in the direction of Dakhny, north of Kurakhove near Berestki, and south of Kurakhove near Doln on November 30th and December 1st. Russian forces continued offensive operations in the Vuhledar direction on December 1st, but did not make any confirmed advances. Russian forces continued attacking north of Vuhledar near Vasily I High, Romanivka, Yelizavetivka, Hanivka, Katarinivka, and Antonivka, and northwest of Vuhledar near Trudov, Rozliv, Kostiantynopolsk, and Sukhiyli on November 30th and December 1st. Elements of the Russian 14th Spetsnaz Brigade, GRU, are reportedly operating near Trudov and Sukhiyli, northwest of Vuhledar. Russian forces reportedly advanced in the Donetsk-Zaporizhia Oblast border area northeast, north, south, and southwest of Velika Novosilka, but did not make any confirmed advances on December 1st. Russian mill bloggers claimed that Russian forces advanced up to 4 kilometers wide and up to 1.2 kilometers deep south of Rozdoln, northeast of Velika Novosilka, into Novyi Komar, north of Velika Novosilka and west of the T-0518 Velika Novosilka Bahadur Highway, up to 6.3 kilometers wide and up to 2.2 kilometers deep near Blahodan, south of Velika Novosilka, and between Novodorivka and Rivnepil, both southwest of Velika Novosilka. ISW has not observed confirmation of these claims, however. One Russian source claimed that reports that Russian force advanced to Novyi Komar are unconfirmed, and a Kremlin-affiliated Russian mill blogger claimed that reports that Russian forces entered the eastern outskirts of Velika Novosilka are also unconfirmed. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russian forces conducted offensive operations near Velika Novosilka, north of Velika Novosilka near Novyi Komar, west of Velika Novosilka towards Novosilka, and southwest of Velika Novosilka near Novodorivka on November 30th and December 1st. Russian advances into Novyi Komar from the east, if confirmed, would support multiple courses of action, COAs, that we recently forecasted the Russian Military Command might pursue. We recently forecasted that the Russian Military Command may attempt to envelop or bypass Velika Novosilka in order to interdict the T-0518 highway before advancing into Dnipropetrovsk Oblast to envelop Ukrainian forces in southwestern Donetsk Oblast. Russian efforts to interdict Ukrainian ground lines of communication, GLOCs, supplying the Ukrainian defense in Velika Novosilka are also likely part of Russian efforts to envelop the settlement from the flanks, and potential future Russian advances into Novyi Komar would also interdict the O0509 highway that runs north from Velika Novosilka. Russian supporting effort, Southern Axis, Russian objective. Maintain frontline positions and secure rear areas against Ukrainian strikes. Russian forces recently marginally advanced in far eastern Zaporizhia Oblast. Geolocated footage published on December 1st shows that Russian forces recently marginally advanced in northern Dorozhnyenka, south of Huliapol. Russian and Ukrainian sources did not report fighting in far eastern Zaporizhia Oblast on December 1st. Russian and Ukrainian forces did not report on fighting in western Zaporizhia Oblast on December 1st. Russian forces continued limited ground attacks in the Dnipro direction in east, left, Bank Kherson Oblast on December 1st, but did not advance. Elements of the Russian 80th Arctic Motorized Rifle Brigade, 14th Army Corps AC, Leningrad Military District, LMD, reportedly continue operating in the Kherson direction. Russian air, missile, and drone campaign, Russian objective. Target Ukrainian military and civilian infrastructure in the rear and on the front line. Russian forces conducted drone strikes against Ukraine overnight on November 30th to December 1st. The Ukrainian Air Force reported that Russian forces launched 78 Shahid and other unspecified drones, possibly referring to decoy drones, overnight, and that Ukrainian forces downed 32 Russian drones in Kiev, Cherkasy, Chernihiv, Zhytomyr, Sumy, and Poltava oblasts. Ukrainian officials reported that drone strikes and falling debris damaged residential areas in Kyiv and Chernihiv oblasts. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated on December 1st that Russian forces launched over 500 glide bombs, nearly 660 strike drones, and about 120 missiles against Ukraine in the past week, since about November 24th. Russian mobilization and force generation efforts, Russian objective. Expand combat power without conducting general mobilization. Former Roscosmos, Russian space agency, head and Zaporizhia Oblast occupation Senator Dmitry Rogozin posted a recruitment advertisement on December 1st for the Russian Bar Sarmat Detachment, Russian Combat Army Reserve, which he personally sponsors. Russian technological adaptations, Russian objective. Introduce technological innovations to optimize systems for use in Ukraine. Nothing significant to report. Activities in Russian-occupied areas, Russian objective. Consolidate administrative control of annexed areas. Forcibly integrate Ukrainian citizens into Russian socio-cultural, economic, military, and governance systems. ISW is not publishing coverage of activities in Russian-occupied areas today. Significant activity in Belarus. Russian efforts to increase its military presence in Belarus and further integrate Belarus into Russian favorable frameworks. Wagner Group activity in Belarus.